What up, YouTube? Queen 8 here, back with part 3 of our deep dive series where you look at certain sets within my video game collection. I recently completed archiving every single game in my collection, and I have priced out everything. I know what the total value, quote unquote, is of this entire collection. Prior to this video, I have refrained from putting any, like, this is what the entire set is worth. Part of me feels like it's a little off-putting to do it. Part of me feels like it's flexing. But for today's video, if Logan Paul can wear a Pokemon card as a chain, I will see you at WrestleMania. For part 3, we're going to be looking at 3 different consoles, the rise and the fall of Sega. We're going to be looking at the Sega Master System collection, the Sega Saturn collection, and the Sega Dreamcast collection. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, check back. We did Super Nintendo so far and my complete Sega Genesis collection. And let me know in the comments below, is it bad taste? Is it wrong to flex what your entire video game collection is worth? We'll talk about it at the end of the video as well. I'll dive into what I plan to do with the entire collection. So again, a realistic representation of what my office looks like pre-game room tour. We will clean this up for the game room tour. Where do I play these games? I play it right here on this TV here, Sony Wega. In the next video, part 4, we'll make B-roll of me sitting on this couch, actually gaming on this TV. Let us get going here. The Sega collection inside the video game nook here, I call it. You got the Sega Genesis stuff, which we saw in part 2. The first thing we have here is my Sega Master System collection. I'll give you a quick pan of it. There was just not much of this in our city. I think that's because there wasn't a lot of people in our city who owned Sega Master System. Ugh, I gotta repair that. These are all DIY shelves, but I'll do a quick pan. You can see my entire Sega Master collection here. The majority of this I found at the thrift store, like 3 events at the thrift store. I found Sega Master games. Let's see, Altered Beast. That's $6.99 at Valley Village. Found that. Oh, it doesn't have a date on this one. That's probably mid-2010s. Golden Axe, I got that at a video game store here locally for $5. Is this one complete? Oh yeah, that's complete. I love Golden Axe so much on the Sega Genesis. Again, from my cousin who never calls me, he owned that game. Where's Golden Axe? Here it is. I have 2 copies of it. We'll have this copy here. It's like a there it is, Classics Golden Axe. Yeah, a bunch of these games I found at the thrift store. Yeah, this one, $6. I don't know where I bought that one. Alex Kidd in High Tech World. That looks interesting. I don't know what that's worth. I don't know what any of this is worth. This one had a cool cover. I always like this cover. As you can tell, I barely played any of these games. I have them. It's just so cumbersome to get out the Sega Master System. This one, oh, Double Dragon. Where did I find this one? The reason I like this one is different than the Nintendo version because you can play 2 players simultaneously. Simultaneously. Graphics look a little bit different. I'll put some gameplay here on the screen. It's still fun. I enjoyed it. Again, 2-player co-op on the first Double Dragon game in a home console. That was fantastic. This one was found at Valley Village. There you go, $6.99, Lord of the Sword. I never played it. I bought it. That's pretty much the story of the Sega Master System. I bought it and never played it. Bomber Raid, again, found that at Valley Village as well. No date on that one. And we'll go to the loose games here. This is all obviously Sega Genesis, but here, I'll never forget it when I started going to the thrift store with my wife, like mid-2000s. And I saw a game like this on the shelf. I was like, what the hell system was that for? This is before we knew everything that we know now. Internet wasn't as big. I'm so old. I saw this on the shelf. I'm like, what system is this for? Is this some sort of Atari I've never heard of? Yeah, this was the game. I found this one at the thrift store. This is at a Goodwill in like a box of headphones and stuff. You can see the old Goodwill, like the residual sticker that was there. Anywho, on the screen, I'm showing you how many games I own of the console. You know what? I'm going to do it today on this channel. This is the complete value of my Sega Master System collection. This is how many games I have in total as well. I'm not actively looking for this console. I think it looks great just in the Sega area here. Moving up from the Sega Master System, we're going to move up to the Dreamcast. This is the Dreamcast collection I have here. I'll do a quick pan of everything. A lot of these I found loose at the thrift store, and I made these reproduction covers. I guess I didn't make I didn't make a cover for that one. This is a fantastic game, actually. Made famous by Angry Video Game Nerd. It has the voice of Leonard Nimoy in it.
For Nimoy!
And some creepy looking faces. A quote that we've said on this channel before: Asian faces in horror movies are creepy. Got these all off thecoverproject.net. Let's see here. I bought this off of our local video game store. I was friends with the manager there, and he was selling his collection. This is like mid-2000s. And I bought a lot of games off him I thought were expensive at the time, including these 2 games. I've barely played those games. Thrift store find. I think this is factory sealed Sonic Adventure. I'm not sure if this one is actually factory sealed. It doesn't have like that, you know, the flaps at the top. I found this at Valley Village. Took off the sticker. I think it was like $6.99. Ooh, Nelly. I don't know. I think this was the best version of this game. I think that's nostalgia talking, though. Did Lester have this? Lester might have had that. Yeah, you know what? I'm really tempted to play these games now. It's been a while. Shenmue. Okay, my cousin, who doesn't call me anymore, he had a Sega Dreamcast. I don't know why he had one. I was borrowing it from a friend, but we played Shenmue, and he was all hyped about it. And honestly, when I was playing it, I was like, this is the stupidest game of all time. I didn't get into the stories. I still to this day don't know what the story is. But at the time when we were playing it, we were just like on a forklift moving things, like a life simulator type thing. And then we started collecting things from those bubble machines. Like, I'm like, this is a horrible, like, what is this game? I don't get it. Ain't nobody got time for that, okay? As you've seen in my other videos, I love games like this. Just pick up and play arcade games. That's my jam. This game, whoo! I bought this from P&P Games for 20 bucks. I didn't even know it existed. I loved House of the Dead. Typing of the Dead. This is so satisfying when you're playing the game and you're clicking on the Dreamcast keyboard, and like every time you type in a word, bullets come flying, or every time you type a letter, like bullets come out of your gun. Found this at Valley Village. Phantasy Star Online. Never played it. It's factory sealed, but there's a big crack in it there. Yeah, there it was. 10 bucks when I bought it. And you can't... Oh, this was actually... I'll show this one. This was very fun. I love Ready to Rumble. Great game. But yes, you have to end every video with the D. D2. I don't know what that's worth. So again, this is the stats I have on my Sega Dreamcast collection. And I will put the total value of said collection on the screen for you. Yee! How gross is it to show them? I hate to talk about money in gaming. I hate channels like, you know, they don't contribute anything to the retro gaming community except for how they exploit our community and make money off of us.
Do you really think your puny mind is a match for mine?
Gatekeeper.
Okay, just to clarify, whenever it seems we're bringing up another YouTube channel, unless we blatantly say we have beef, consider it satire and consider it funny.
Looking above that, the Sega Saturn collection. My most likely, I believe so, my most valuable collection in my collection. Oh, I hate saying collection. The most valuable set in my collection. A lot of these games have shot up in value. And the majority of this, I'll show a video now. This is where I got my collection started, from one visit out of town with 64-Bit Matthew, Ian's debut on the channel. We went to this local shop in Brandon, Manitoba, and I traded a bunch of stuff in. I went in to get like Earthbound complete in box or some other really rare RPGs complete in box, but a person there I think beat me to it, protecting his turf, which was a blessing in disguise because the owner came out, hey, if you're interested, you could trade you for this. Nod of approval from 64-Bit Matthew sealed the deal for me. Anyways, let's get into it here. I'll do a quick pan of the entire collection and talk about it as we go. A little weird there. These are all the games in my Sega Saturn collection. And there it is. Let's talk about it. My most valuable game in my collection, I already talked about that in a short. I bought this from P&P Games for like $39.99. Probably the best investment I've ever made. Bought this at a comic convention for 14 bucks. I just always like the cover of this when we were looking at, you know, you look at video game magazines at your cousin's house, the cousin who doesn't call you anymore. This game, P&P Games bought it for 50 bucks. I don't know if it's a hidden gem or not, but I didn't know about this game before I bought it. Took a chance on it. think P&P had a sale that day. I played this game on the PS1 as well as the Sega Saturn, and hands down, the Sega Saturn, I think with this independent 2D processor, such a better version of this game. Definitely Queen Nate recommends, check it out. My arm's getting tired, so we're going to keep moving along here. Ooh, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I played that once since owning it in my Saturn. I bought this from the, I don't know what his ethnicity is, at the flea market. I think 2018 era, that type of thing. Paid a pretty penny for it, but I was like, I'm never gonna see this game again. You know, Shining the Holy Ark. And it was fun. What really pissed me off was I played this game on my Saturn, and I changed the battery, and I played it for like 2 hours, and I realized I put the wrong battery in the Sega Saturn, so it didn't save my file. So I played it again with one of these memory cards. I don't have the memory card anymore. Played it again for like another couple hours, made some progress, saved my progress, and yet again, the memory card I got was faulty, and I gave up playing Shining the Holy Ark. But it was actually really fun. From that video where I got my initial Saturn collection, woo! I wanted this game for so long. It was recommended. They said, Guardian Heroes, you gotta play that. The hidden gem, true hidden gems. I actually really like this game. Street Fighter, the movie, you got that digitized graphics, played like Mortal Kombat with juggling combos and stuff. I liked it. I don't know why people had such a beef with that game. It was so much fun. It's like a better version of Mortal Kombat. Yes, I said it. Darkstalkers, I'll always call it Darkstalkers. $15.95 I paid for this at PP Games. Beautiful. Again, superior on the Sega Saturn. 2D hand-drawn graphics. All gorgeous. With that independent 2D processor that everyone touts about. Woof. I love that. Oh, and this game too. Bought it from P&P Games. I'm going to say I paid 30 bucks for it. 20 bucks I paid for this game. Street Fighter Alpha 2, my favorite of the alphas. Alpha 2s. In that era when Capcom bastardized their flagship IP. I don't know. Panzer Dragoon, everyone said you had to get it if you own a Sega Saturn. I never understood the appeal of it. I played and I just kind of put it back down. Anyways, values of that are on the screen there. And that's about it. This is my import Saturn collection. I'll pull it aside here. The most notable game in here, I would say, from Kid Shoryuken, who I think is going through a rebranding, sent me this when I started YouTube like 2013, and I think he was starting YouTube at the same time. And again, for the Sega Saturn, this is how many games I own and what this collection is worth in total.
What you won't see in my collection is 32X and Sega CD. I did kind of start collecting for those consoles, but I have sold them off like years ago. I did not have any emotional attachment to those games. You know, since I'm at the end of my acquisition phase of the retro video game collecting journey, I'm probably not going to get any more of those. That's kind of the reason why I'm making this series, looking over all the games that I have in my collection, because it's going to be very seldom that I'm actually going to be doing pick-up videos like we've done in the past now. It's been a decade, over a decade now that we've been doing that. I guess it's graduation day. So yeah, let me know what you think about today's collections in the comments below. I appreciate all the positive comments from the first two parts of this series. And as I said at the beginning, what am I planning to do with this entire collection? I have archived all the games and consoles for the most part in my collection, except for the Closet of Doom. I feel like I'm actually going to shoot a video of that because you guys have asked for it. Uncensored, no mosaic blur or nothing. I use this app called Game Eye, and you can get individual reports of specific consoles in your collection, and it gives you like the entire value of just your games or just your consoles. I have a number. I don't know how accurate it is. Obviously there's, highs and lows within that, but I kind of know what my entire video game collection is worth. And it's a weird feeling. Since I saw that number, I've really contemplated, why am I sitting in all these games? As I'm doing this series as well, I've noticed how many games I don't know, I've never played. Am I gonna wait until retirement to play all these games and all the lasers on my systems fail? Or is it worthwhile selling it now? I feel like if I had to sell my collection, I would have to sell it as a whole. And the good thing about this app, because it has that value, I kind of know what I want to get for everything. I'm not going to ask somebody to pay full price for everything, right? Whatever Game Eye app says my entire collection is worth, if I got that, that'd be great, but realistically, I'll probably not even start with that asking price. But if you know any rich foreign nationals or princes from foreign lands that want to buy my collection, please feel free. But I do want to get through this entire series before I share anything else about the entire collection as a whole. Let me know in the comments below, should I be flexing the value that this Game Eye app has told me my collection is worth? Is that worth putting out there? I know people have way more games that are worth way more. That's where it gets murky, right? Like, I don't want people to think, you know, because I have this much money in my video game collection, my collection is this much better than anyone else who's below it, because that's not what it's been about here in Thrift Dweller. Like, Lester has a small video game collection, which is perfect for him. Like, to us, it's not about how many games are in your collection, it's what it means to you and what your goals are within collecting in itself, right? That's the true success of a retro video game collector, in my opinion. So for me to flex the entire number, it feels odd. It feels odd. Thank you very much for joining me on today's video. Stay tuned for part 4. Let me know what collection you want to see next. Maybe I'll do that. I haven't shot it yet as of shooting the outro of this video. That's it for me, Queen 8. Peace!